Welcome back to Sikho German. Lektion 11. And we're building on everything you've learned about the three German cases. Now that you know nominative, accusative, and dative, it's time to learn articles. Words like my, your, his, her, our, and their. These are essential for expressing ownership and relationships in German. Today's topic is Possessivartikel. Possessive articles. These are the words we use to show that something belongs to someone or is related to something. Just like the regular articles you've learned, possessive articles also change based on case, gender, and number. Possessive articles show ownership or relation to something. For example, my book, your car, his dog, her bag. These words tell us who something belongs to. In German, possessive articles change based on two important factors. First, the gender and number of the noun, whether it's masculine, feminine, neuter, or plural. Second, the case, whether it's nominative, accusative, or dative. This means that the word my can have different forms depending on what you're describing and how you're using it in the sentence. Before diving into it, if you are new here, hit the subscribe button for future lessons.
Let's start with possessive articles in the nominative case. Remember, nominative is used for the subject of the sentence, the person or thing doing the action. Here's the complete table of possessive articles in the nominative case. Let me go through each pronoun and its possessive forms. Ich, I, becomes my. Mein, meine, mein, meine. Du, you, becomes your. Dein, deine, dein, deine. Sie, formal you, becomes your. Note this is always capitalized. Ihr, ihre, ihr, ihre. Es, he, it, becomes his or its. Sein, seine, sein, seine. Sie, she, they, becomes her or their. Ihr, ihre, ihr, ihre. Wir, we, becomes our. Unser, unsere, unser, unsere. Ihr, you, plural, informal, becomes your. Euer, eure, euer, eure. Notice the pattern. Masculine and neuter forms are the same. Feminine and plural forms are also the same, adding an e. Let's see these in action with real sentences. Das ist mein Vater. That is my father. The masculine noun Vater uses the possessive article mein in the nominative. Deine Tasche ist hier. Your bag is here. The feminine noun Tasche uses the possessive article deine in the nominative. Sein Auto ist neu. His car is new. The neuter noun Auto uses the possessive article sein in the nominative. Unsere Wohnung ist groß. Our apartment is big. The feminine noun Wohnung uses the possessive article unsere in the nominative.
Now let's look at possessive articles in the accusative case. Remember, accusative is used for the direct object, the person or thing receiving the action. Here's the table of possessive articles in the accusative case. Notice what changes. The key rule: only masculine forms change in the accusative. Feminine, neuter, and plural stay the same as nominative. Let me show you the changes in masculine. For ich, mein becomes meinen. Informal du, dein becomes deinen. Formal sie, ihr becomes ihren. Es, sein becomes seinen. Sie, Ihr becomes ihren. Wir, unser becomes unseren. Ihr, euer becomes euren. And the rest are the same as nominative. Let's see accusative possessive articles in action. Ich sehe meinen Bruder. I see my brother. The masculine noun Bruder is the direct object, so we use meinen, accusative masculine. Kauft ihre Tasche. He buys her bag. The feminine noun Tasche is the direct object, but feminine stays ihre, no change from nominative. Wir haben unser Haus verkauft. We sold our house. The neuter noun Haus is the direct object, but neuter stays unser, no change. Sie besucht ihren Onkel. She visits her uncle. The masculine noun Onkel is the direct object, so we use ihren, accusative masculine.
Now for the dative case, used for the indirect object. Remember, dative answers to whom or for whom. Here's the table of possessive articles in the dative case. In dative, all forms change. Let me show you the dative endings. Ich, I, becomes my. Masculine, meinem, adds em. Feminine, meiner, adds er. Neuter, meinem, adds em, same as masculine. Plural, meinen, plus n. Article adds en, plus add an extra n to the noun. Du, you, becomes your. Deinem, deiner, deinem, deinen, plus n. Sie, formal you, becomes your. Note, this is always capitalized. Ihrem, ihre, ihrem, ihren, plus n. And s, he, it, becomes his, its. Seinem, seiner, seinem, seinen, plus n. Sie, she, and sie, they, becomes her, their. Ihrem, ihre, ihrem, ihren, plus n. We're, we, becomes our. Unserem, unserer, unserem, unseren, plus n. Ihr, you, plural informal, becomes your. Eurem, eurer, eurem, euren, plus n. The pattern, masculine and neuter add em to the article, feminine adds er, and plural adds en to the article, plus add n to the noun itself. Ich gebe meinem Freund das Buch. I give my friend the book. The masculine noun Freund is the indirect object, to whom, so we use meinem, dative masculine. Sie hilft ihre Mutter. She helps her mother. The feminine noun Mutter is the dative object. Remember, helfen takes dative, so we use ihre, dative feminine. Wir zeigen unserem Lehrer die Antwort. We show the answer to our teacher. The masculine noun Lehrer is the indirect object, so we use unserem, dative masculine. Gibt seinen Kindern Schokolade. He gives chocolate to his children. The plural noun Kindern is the indirect object, so we use seinen, dative plural, and the noun becomes Kindern, adding the n. This is the dative plural rule. Now it's time for exercise. I'm going to show 5 sentences. Pause the video and try to answer it using the given hint. Now let's check the answer. How many you got right? Let me summarize the key points about possessive articles. First, possessive articles are essential in German to express ownership. Words like my, your, his, her, our, and their. Second, but remember, they must change their form depending on the case, nominative, accusative, dative, gender, and noun plurality. Third, in nominative, the base forms are mein, dein, sein, unser, euer. Feminine and plural add e. Fourth, in accusative, only masculine forms change. They add en. Everything else stays the same as nominative. Fifth, in dative, all forms change. Masculine and neuter add em. Feminine adds er. Plural adds en to the article and n to the noun. Sixth, mastering these patterns will improve your German fluency a lot. They appear in almost every sentence you create. The key is practice. The more you use these possessive articles in context, the more natural they'll become. Excellent work! You now understand German possessive articles across all three major cases. This is a massive achievement because possessive articles are everywhere in German. Now you can express ownership and relationships accurately in nominative, accusative, and dative contexts. Keep learning with Sikho German. Possessive articles combined with your knowledge of the three cases means you now can create complex, natural-sounding German sentences. You're building real fluency. If this lesson helped you master the dative case, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, bell, so you don't miss future grammar lessons. Also, share it with your friends learning German and leave a comment with a sentence using possessive articles. Thank you so much for learning with Sikho German today. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bis bald. Auf Wiedersehen.